All right, take a break. 7:52, LNK Today with Jack and Friends on KLIN.
This is Pam Petersen.
8:38, LNK Today with Jack and Friends on KLIN on this Wednesday morning. Megan Conway, my in-studio friend from KLKN, Channel 8 Eyewitness News, and we also welcome in Jason Petersen from Generate Marketing. And Megan and Jason have been geeking out big time on Game of Thrones talk during the break. Wow. I'm glad both of you were here for each other because I wouldn't have been able to hold up for either of you on this.
He's just been drinking his coffee over there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I made fun of it for a long time. I'm a latecomer. Again, it's a show not for everybody because it is, fairly violent and stuff. But oh my gosh, it's one of the most well-written shows I have ever watched.
But we're like 2 years away from new episodes, right? I've
been binge watching for like 3 weeks, so it's like. It's just been amazing. I know a lot of people listening who are into it as well. It was like funny. All of a sudden, the light went on with both of you, and we are all in on Game of Thrones. Okay, I want to talk about a couple of things, but I want to talk first about. I think this came out since last time we had a talk, Jason, and I want to get everybody's kind of opinion on this. Yep.
But Facebook, for the first time, has stats out, or there are stats out indicating that people's usage of Facebook is going down.
Yep.
It's gone up, it's gone up, it's gone up for a decade or more at this point. It's now going down. I don't know about you guys, but I have seen that in my own personal life as well. And I know sometimes it's a little bit generational, but I think I would have described myself as a pretty heavy user, right? Not only for work, but personally I used it as well, especially posting pictures, just status updates, those sorts of things. And I can't quite put my finger on it exactly, but I don't like it as much. I don't. So the news doesn't surprise me. Jason, tell me what your reaction to this is, and then I want to hear what Megan has to say about it as well.
Well, I think that, we've talked a lot about Facebook has been in this position where, like, they've had to make choices about free speech and things like that, and they've got kind of backed into a corner where I know Zuckerberg never wanted them to be. I mean, I think he mentioned he has like 14,000 people now, and it was like 3,000 2 years ago that are auditing the quality of the content. I think he's trying to repivot. I know right now, and I read, he's trying to sacrifice. I think this is a very good thing, and I've told my clients this a lot because what you're going to do is you're going to get people away from it for news. And I think what you and I have talked is I don't think that's Facebook's wheelhouse. I don't think he never wanted it to be a news source. I mean, like Twitter, that's where I do my stuff.
Right.
So I think
when we were heavy users of it, or when I was a heavy user of it, it wasn't.
No.
It was truly social.
That's correct. Mm-hmm. So I think that he's making some corrections that I believe to sustain the network, he has to get back to the content being more about the people. So I would say this is for the benefit and for the health of it. Because like you, I have not. I live in this world as far as what I do with my clients, and I get fatigued too because my news feed has been so full of stuff, and I don't necessarily want it for news. I don't want to do that.
So you and I both have to be aware of it and use it for work. And Megan, you do too. But personally, have you found yourself backing away from it?
Yeah, I think
from what you had before.
To me, when the stuff got over the top as far as news and political and stuff like that. Is
that what drives it for you?
That turns me off.
Has it been your experience too, Megan? Have you backed off it personally?
I have, and I've noticed too that I don't do the status updates as much. Maybe a picture here and there, but I don't. And so when I go through my news feed, I notice ads. I notice videos that people are always sharing. It's not necessarily what's going on
own stuff.
Well, and it's not my friends and them telling me what's going on in their life when they're miles away. And that's why it was so special in the beginning.
I agree.
Was I could stay connected to so many people easily who I couldn't talk to every day. And it's not like that anymore.
When they first came out with the timeline thing, I was excited about that. You remember it actually got some criticism, but it was kind of year by year, month by month. I liked that idea of kind of a journal, like something for me to be able to go back and look at, and that was something that I kept updated and kept doing. But it's not going to happen for me anymore because I just don't. It's not. Maybe it's partially too social media fatigue. It's not as exciting to see likes maybe as it was at one point. I don't know if that's true or the comments are all. I don't know.
Well, and
I'm just so used to it.
What I find interesting, too, is I've talked to younger generations, maybe kids that are in high school, even middle school, and they're like, we're not getting Facebook. That's for older people. Right. It's like the MySpace of yesteryear, you know?
Right.
And these kids are only using Snapchat, Twitter even, but Instagram. Yeah, Snapchat is huge.
I got a 13-year-old, and for the first time he's technically legal to use these services. He's Instagram and Snapchat is what it's about for him.
Mm-hmm.
No, I said, would you even be interested in having Facebook? And he said, I don't know, maybe. And he's not.
Well, I think they're about the more visual and the quick medium,
Right.
Yeah, I mean, to me, this is, again, where, remember, Facebook owns Instagram, and the smartest thing they've ever done is not jack with it. They've done stuff. They've tried to make it competitive with Snapchat. But I keep telling people, like all of my clients, 50% of the population is millennials. That's Instagram, okay? Now, you've got a whole generation, older and stuff, like my parents and the things that use Facebook and stuff. So, again, if they want the ecosystem to stay, and not degrade, I think this is one of the best moves in the world. It's not a profitable move. It's not a popular move. But for me, who uses small business to engage with a variety of audiences older than millennials, this is the best thing that's ever happened.
So yeah, it may be just an audience change. So you're not freaking out from if you're a small business perspective.
No, I'm actually
about
thrilled.
Numbers going down.
No, I mean, to me, this is, people complain about the quality of the content and, again, the annoyance. So I'm more about quality over quantity. Mm-hmm. I always say that. Like, I'd rather get, quality engagement over, like, having 1,500, like, fans versus, like, 500.
Yeah.
So, but again, this transition of trying to figure out how you reach audiences, I agree with you guys. I mean, to me, there's this huge drop-off. And, again, as a marketer, as somebody that's engaging with people that are trying to get in front of these individuals that have money, you cannot ignore the emergence of stuff like Instagram now. You just can't.
Speaking of Snapchat, they're starting to be profitable, which they hadn't for a long time. Revenue, $285.7 billion, up 72% year over year just recently. And they've increased in terms of their average daily users. So if you go back to the beginning of last year, they were at 122 million average daily users. They're now at 187 over the course of a year and a month that they've gone up here. I mean, to me, that's the thing that we talked about as far as if Snapchat and these, they have to be profitable. I know we've criticized Twitter from a small business perspective in terms of its affordability for advertising. And again, that's where Facebook's done really well. But again, I still think I'm going to make a bold prediction. I think that Twitter is ripe for acquisition. I really believe it. Okay. Because financially it doesn't perform that well, but we know that it has a niche and a fundamental need in the social ecosystem. I think if I'm Facebook, I buy Twitter. So let me go around the table. That's interesting. Well, let me go around the table and see how people, because I had somebody else, I had Tim who does the show with me the other day, and he said, and he's a big Snapchat user, and he says, I said, well, what do you use it? What do you really use it for at its bottom line? And he said, basically just sending group messages to friends, essentially, is what the purpose he uses. And I said, well, I just text,
I do iMessage.
When I do that, I text. How do you use Snapchat, or do you?
I do, but I'm not fond of it. It's to reach those audiences that I can't reach on other social media. So you use
it for work-related stuff?
Work and personal. I only have one Snapchat, whereas on Facebook I have two, personal and work.
Yeah, me too.
But it gets too much to take care of for everything. I can only do so much. And so for these Snapchats, I may share things like on my day-to-day that I'm doing that don't necessarily need a post on Facebook. It's just a quick picture of like what I'm up to or my coffee or, things like that are very quick.
Do you use Instagram?
Yes.
Okay. So to me, like, that's the transition part that I see is Instagram has a good business model for reaching businesses. I'm a huge right now advocate of, as my clients are transitioning the ages of who they're getting in front with, we're doing more and more Instagram diversification.
It's interesting. It doesn't feel something doesn't feel as gross about the marketing that happens on Instagram as compared to Facebook. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
I mean, to me, this is where, and I know they've added some of these features in the stories and stuff like that to compete with Snapchat, but I mean, again, it's not as cluttered. I know one of the things I love is when you tag stuff, the popularity, you can get traction off of something, and we get so much value and mileage out of people that haven't heard of you.
So
versus
that's the
like
key,
a Twitter.
hashtags.
So to me, like, you do a hashtag on Twitter, you may not get a repost from anybody.
I don't think people use them that often.
No, I mean, to me, the thing I love about Instagram is it's still, like you said, and I don't know how long you're able to do this, but I think the cross-pollination of the promotions between Facebook and Instagram. So I think what's going to happen more is the advertising going to be driven more on Instagram, and then again, it's published to Facebook. You can go both ways, and this is where, if you're not in the business advertising space, they have blown up the options. I mean, it's extremely complicated now as far as what you can use.
Right.
But yeah, I'm right now with a pulse, and again, the Snapchat thing for most of mine, it's just it's too low as far as the audience we reach. But again, you got to be ready for the change.
I just want to get it again because I want to understand why my son wants to use it.
No, I mean, I'm like you. I tried it once and then I quit. I mean,
I'm not a huge fan.
I just wasn't into it.
But again, the way I communicate is and I communicate with friends. I send them pictures. I do those.
Yep.
So it's not that I don't do those things. I just do it in a group text.
Yeah.
Right? It's just the same. It's the same thing with a different format. All right, real quick. So who's got smart home speakers in their home? I've got the Echo.
Yep.
No.
Nope.
No.
I don't have anything.
Don't. You want
No,
one?
thank you. No.
You don't want one?
No.
What, are you afraid they're going to monitor you or something?
No, I have enough issues trying to use my Siri. I don't need something else talking
Siri
to me.
sucks.
Siri, yeah, it does. Which brings us to the Siri entry into the smart home market. The Apple HomePod is coming out, I believe, in 2 days here?
Yeah,
they're going to release this thing. The initial reviews, I haven't used one, you haven't used one, but the initial reviews are the sound quality is great, but it brings the issues that Siri has along with it.
I mean, to me, like you use Sonos, and the quality, I mean, I've heard, again, it's like Bose and this high-end sort of like audio experience. But again, to me, I because of the issues with Siri, and like you said, I know they're trying to not sell it as an AI, assistant. They're doing more of, it's a great speaker. Oh, by the way, and it has Siri. Guys, I'm not buying it. I mean, again, I have, my wife got it for me for my birthday. I mean, we've talked about, I mean, she got the second, like the higher end one
so you're
for like
getting
$79. No, I'm saying I have the Amazon
you have
one
the
like
Echo.
you.
Gotcha.
But to me, like, the difference between spending $79 and $330, I mean, I'm not going to try that out. I mean, there's no way. I mean, that's more expensive than an Apple Watch.
Right, and you just have so many doubts with the way they've entered the market.
No,
and,
I don't.
And you can
I'm not
you can get in, but who knows? We'll see what ends up happening with it. By the way, I was playing Jeopardy on my Echo Dot last night, and I got 11 out of 12, which is a personal record.
That's pretty good.
Just so everybody knows. Just thought I'd tell you about that. It's great during it. It makes my emptying the dishwasher time so much more fun. I'll tell you that. What?
It actually like.
I now look forward to emptying the dish because it's time to play Name That Tune, or it's time to play Jeopardy, and there I am battling out, getting 11 to 12, talking smack to Trebek. It's fantastic.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, to me, it's still like Jack and I've talked. Like right now, when you buy it, it's kind of gadgety. I mean, it's kind of fun and stuff. We don't have a smart home, but I'm still watching their skills. So to me, it's kind of like the App Store, the skills. So to me, that's where the innovation of making, back in the day of a smartphone where it's just, who cares, it's a smartphone, but the apps made it good. To me, that's where the Amazon product is leading the pack.
Megan's going to have one of these in 1 year.
I'm telling you.
I don't think so.
Megan's going to have one of these. Your fiancé, will decide, hey, this is pretty cool. We can play music whenever we want to.
If he comes home with one, it's going in the basement. And he can talk to it down there.
That would be a great way to start off the marriage. Hey, go downstairs and talk to your home assistant.
I love you, honey.
All right, Jason, always good stuff as well. Generate Marketing, find out more there. Give us your website there for people who want to check you out.
Yes, it's Generate. We spell it weird to get the URL. GEN marketing.com. Just search us, find us, Twitter, Facebook, wherever. We're out there to help people.
All right, thank you, Jason. We'll talk to you in a couple weeks, all right?
Sound good.
All right, Megan and I will wrap up the show after this on KLIN.